So many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z,
Everybody.
I'm sure the Clintons were there at some point.
Maybe Bill.
Joe Rogan has never backed down from difficult topics. Over the years, he's taken on Hollywood, politics, and the music industry with the same fearless intensity that's earned him millions of followers. But during a recent podcast episode, the tone shifted. Gone were the laughs and casual takes. Instead, what unfolded was an emotional, deeply disturbing exposé about something Rogan says he can no longer stay silent about. The truth behind Justin Bieber's time in the care of Diddy when Bieber was just 15 years old.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher. I'm signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Rogan started the episode with an unusual silence, no jokes, no guests, just him, a microphone, and a folder filled with papers that he admitted shook him to his core. This isn't just another Hollywood story, Joe began. This is about a kid. With that, he dove straight into a timeline of events that linked Diddy to Justin Bieber's early career, revealing a pattern that had remained hidden in plain sight.
And good luck when you're older. Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person. Yeah. But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
Because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this shit is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way,
It's like Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
I'm big and you're Robin.
Yeah. No, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Flown out to Atlanta by a manager. His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio. And who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. It rolls up, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And Scooter was like, "Yeah." And so I ran up to him and I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one? And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out. So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again. And he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was a TKO.
And then you have him come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
You were all sitting in a room somewhere.
We were in a room.
Yeah.
And I showed her the video. And Perry says, are you crazy? You better get down there and meet this kid right now. He's amazing.
When all these pics come out and all this stuff with Bieber's big penis, are you the mastermind behind that? Say, listen, show off your big penis and people will come to those concerts. Or are you sitting there?
Is that the kind of managing he's doing?
Usher, are you sitting down with him and saying, yeah, show your or leave it in your pants? I mean, do you sit him down and say, look, part of this is PR,
Hey,
man.
by the way, he does have a brain of his own.
Yeah, but were you shocked at the size of his penis?
Hey, listen, he has a mind of his own. What he chose to do with his penis is his prerogative. He's managing that aspect of his life.
But Usher is somebody.
I have nothing to do with Justin Bieber's private parts, man.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's 555.
Yes. Okay.
5555.
Okay. 55. You heard that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there was so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I own.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick and there was all these things and I was like, I can't, there's like, you just can't, like you said, you can't enjoy the actual physical, tangible, like things that money offers, right?
The you of then was on a path of self-destruction.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive for sure. It was dark. So I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids and saying that's what I want. But I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and
I always say this about Justin Bieber. When people hear about him going insane, like, of course he's going insane. You have no idea what it would be like to be him and to be 17 years old. And girls literally trying to break into his house. They're coming down chimneys. They're flying in on parachutes. They're doing anything they can. They just want to be around him. You want him to be normal?
Oh, man, poor guy.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Wow! I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. That was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Look at what a beautiful face. All right, now it's time to...
We had seen these videos of Justin Bieber being handed over to him at age 15. Great job. Great job. And for his weekend with Diddy camp. I mean, we don't know, but it certainly looks like Justin Bieber is still suffering the fallout from whatever happened to him as he was coming up the ranks of the music world. It really doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I'd love to hear more from his camp about what's real, because it's clear he's suffering. We just don't know from what. And what mother out there would give her 15-year-old boy over to a grown man who's in the rap industry for a weekend with Diddy camp without other adult supervision?
The first piece of evidence Joe showed was a resurfaced interview clip. In the video, Diddy is seen joking about spending 48 hours with a young Justin Bieber. He calls it a 15-year-old's dream, but when pressed on what actually happened, he refuses to elaborate. Rogan paused the video. "This isn't mentorship," he said. "When an adult with that much power says they can't talk about what happened with a teenager, that's not normal." Joe emphasized that in the entertainment world, power and secrecy often go hand in hand, and that combination can be dangerous. Joe then revealed documents that raised even more questions. Among them were travel logs, rehearsal schedules, and even handwritten notes reportedly from Bieber himself. One note stood out. It was simple but heartbreaking. "Please let me sleep. I don't want to go again. I'm too tired." Joe placed the note on the table and paused, visibly shaken. "That's not the voice of someone chasing a dream," he said. "That's the voice of a kid being pushed beyond his limit." What followed was a timeline that painted a disturbing picture. According to Joe's research, Usher, who had discovered Bieber and served as his mentor, briefly held temporary guardianship of the young singer. But at some point, without formal legal paperwork, Bieber ended up spending extended periods under Diddy's watch. Joe clarified that this wasn't a legal adoption or contractual arrangement, it was informal. "How does that happen?" he asked. "How does a child star, one of the biggest in the world, get handed over without any formal protection?" The deeper Joe looked, the more troubling the story became. He described secluded retreats Bieber was taken to, where strict rules were enforced, phones were banned, there were limits on communication, schedules packed with rehearsals and late-night activities, all under the control of adults with little oversight. Joe said he'd spoken to former producers who were instructed not to interrupt sessions when Diddy was working with his protege. The term, Joe said, took on a darker meaning when put in the context of everything else. Then came the most painful part of the podcast, the therapist's report. Joe read it aloud, voice cracking at times. The report, submitted during a legal deposition, described Bieber at 16 as overstimulated, emotionally disconnected, and under chronic stress. The words reward, punishment cycles, and loss of personal agency were highlighted. Rogan stopped reading halfway through, visibly emotional. "This wasn't fame," he said quietly. "This was conditioning." Joe then showed a clip from security footage obtained during the investigation. In it, a young Justin is seen walking down a hallway around 3:12 a.m., clutching his guitar surrounded by two adults. His face looks tense, not excited, not inspired, just worn out. In the background, a whiteboard lists the day's rules. Full immersion weekend, no phones, 5-minute limit on calls, vocal drills all day. Joe turned back to the camera. "This isn't how you build an artist," he said. "This is how you control someone." The podcast continued as Joe examined contract excerpts that raised further concern. Though Diddy was never officially listed as a legal guardian, his name appeared on several logistical documents related to Bieber's travel and lodging during that time. Joe questioned how such access was granted without parental consent or legal oversight. Somewhere along the way, he said, the system stopped protecting this kid and started enabling the people around him. As the revelations poured out, Joe reminded listeners that this wasn't about tearing someone down. It was about accountability. "We talk about mentorship like it's always a good thing," he said. "But what happens when the mentor has more power than integrity?" He emphasized that too many young stars are thrown into high-pressure situations with little support and even less protection. "Fame is supposed to be a celebration of talent," he said, "not a prison." Joe also connected these experiences to Bieber's present-day struggles. In recent years, Justin has opened up on social media about anxiety, stress, and trying to rebuild a normal life. He's talked about having to rediscover his identity after growing up in front of millions. Joe said these posts, when placed alongside the documents and footage, showed a clear through line, a story not of success, but of survival. By the time the second hour of the episode began, the impact was already spreading. Social media exploded with reactions. Viewers expressed outrage, heartbreak, and support for Bieber. Major brands began pulling or reviewing their collaborations with Diddy. One shoe company announced they were suspending a campaign. A streaming service began removing older interviews and performances featuring Diddy from its homepage. The shift was immediate and powerful. Joe ended the podcast by pledging to donate every dollar from the episode's revenue to organizations supporting youth mental health and artist protection. "This isn't cancel culture," he said. "This is a call for responsibility, for transparency, for a system that doesn't sacrifice kids for success." He then looked directly into the camera. "If you saw this happening and said nothing, it's on you too." The episode closed with a simple but haunting message. Fame should be a ladder, not a trap. As the lights dimmed and Joe leaned back in his chair, it was clear that this was more than just a viral moment. It was a shift in awareness, in accountability, and hopefully in how young stars are treated moving forward. Justin Bieber's story, as told through this podcast, is no longer just about a pop star's journey. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when fame, power, and silence collide. And thanks to Joe Rogan, the silence has finally been broken.